Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 18th of October. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now, as ever, I'm going to give you the key strands for the week in a brief overview and then dive deep into each zodiac sign. So this week, the key features are that, yes, Jupiter and Mercury go direct on Monday. Jupiter is the planet of growth, of traditional astrology, of good fortune, and it's also the planet of expansion. So over the last 4 months, as it rewound from the sign of Pisces and back into the sign of Aquarius, we have found perhaps that some of our social aspirations have kind of been a case of 2 steps forwards and 1 step back. We can see in some parts of the world, for example, that COVID lockdown has been imposed in a much more stringent way, other areas a bit freer. But Mercury going direct in the sign of relating, Libra, is definitely something to appreciate. Also, the ruler of Libra, Venus, is in a fine link with Mercury and also Saturn this week. So those constructive relationships can really take a step forwards in a way which we're going to be pleased about. Also, Mars, the planet of passion, in the sign of Libra still, is forging an awesome angle to Jupiter for much of this week. So around a group situation or where we feel a sense of unity around a shared idea, again, a lot of thrust and speeding up. A contractual situation could also be resolved this week. But the Sun does square up to Pluto through the week. And Wednesday's full moon in the sign of Aries is kind of deep and passionate because of that square from Pluto to the moon and also the Sun. It's sort of pivoted in a T-square. And if there are deeper relationship problems around perhaps some leverage or coercion, or someone seems to always have to be in charge and not embracing the more equilibrium credentials of Libra, that could see some politics burst into the open, which may need to be resolved. And then on Saturday, the Sun returns for the first time in 11 months to the deep dive sign of Scorpio. Now, the whole progress of the planets through the sign of Libra has been very much the conversation. The movement of the Sun into the sign of Scorpio is to understand what that conversation was really about. So anything about shared resources, intimacy, sexuality, in terms of a more practical context, anything to do with investments, entrepreneurship, legacies, pensions, savings, all of these things can come under the astral microscope over the next 4 weeks. Now, please stay with me for your deep dive on each of the zodiac signs. But if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, I've been writing them for over 25 years. My work features around the world on some of the biggest platforms out there, so you can subscribe for free below. Or with year 2022 racing up quickly, grab your 2022 personal forecast. And if you order now, you'll get the rest of this year 3, plus a character analysis and 30% off. Please see the link beneath this video and gain searing insights for your prospects ahead. Hello Taurus, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 18th of October. With Jupiter going forwards to join with Saturn in your 10th house, a professional situation which has been a bit blocked could get easier, particularly if you're very clear about your objectives and you know that the people that you work with are very much on side. What can be a bit trickier this week is if there is some politics in your work situation, because there could be somebody who's set to oppose you, but they won't necessarily tell you in an upfront way. And I often feel that that's much more difficult to deal with than if someone is just, to the point and says, I don't like something. Now, obviously we can find that quite challenging, but when people work it round the back, there's the kind of backstabbing that goes on. That can be much less easy to deal with. And of course, it's really unedifying. But what the position of Pluto does in its T-square with the moon and the sun on the lunation is kind of push you to try to engage with whatever politics might be there. And there's enough other energy assisting you, particularly through your ruler Venus, in a brilliantly helpful way, that you can use your ability to be shrewd and astute in your approach, but also very realistic when you discuss things at a people level, that other people can come in to support you. So if there is one person that's causing a little bit of mischief, don't isolate yourself. Keep the flow of communication going positively with the people you do find it much easier to relate to.